I don't reckon. Well, I don't reckon he had a hangover. Okay, welcome along to Bangkok ChitChat. As usual, Andrew Sloan on my right. Sorry, I didn't mean to touch you there. Yeah. Well, and myself, Andy Francis. I hope everything's gone well since we saw each other last. I'd just like to thank, before we go any further, to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much. It means such a lot to us. And if you haven't subscribed, then please do. Next to that subscribe button, you also, on YouTube, you'll get a little bell icon.
Notification.
Yeah. If you click that, you'll get a notification every time we upload something to you. Liking and sharing is very... bit of orange there. Liking and sharing is also important, because liking helps us. The more likes we get, the more promotion we can get from YouTube and Facebook, etc. And sharing it takes it to an audience that we don't necessarily know.
Yeah, and if you're on Facebook, what you can do is there's the link there, which is basically where you put the website link on Facebook just now. We've got the YouTube link, and use that, and that'll take you to YouTube, and then you get notification.
Yeah.
Because on Facebook, you just see it on chance.
Yeah, that. And also on Facebook, we have a page, and we put more stuff up there now, interesting bits and pieces. So if you're on YouTube, you go down the bottom and go about.
Some of it's drivel, but
yeah, well, about. You point out what's drivel on there.
Can't remember.
Because I do it, you see. If you go to YouTube and you look at the top about the channel, you see right down the bottom, you'll see our Facebook link.
Yep.
And that puts us to the Facebook. But stay on YouTube. We love YouTube. Right, today, Pattaya pubs closing at 4 a.m. Is it good or bad? We're going to be looking at where are these time extensions meant for? Is this proposal for what destinations? Where is it going to happen? What must these pubs and clubs do if they close at 4 a.m.? What are the benefits and negatives? Who will be the first? Does Phuket figure in all of this? Does Bangkok figure in all this? And what are the police doing in the UK, in a little county called Devon, to help reduce violence because of late drinking?
Okay.
It's really funny. Bit silly. Right, a leading entertainment industry personality in Pattaya has thrown his weight behind plans for an extension of opening hours in Pattaya, saying that it is definitely a good idea. But he has cautioned that with the extra trade must come extra responsibility for social issues. For example, pubs and clubs should have alcohol testing stations to tell patrons or patrons, you say patrons, right?
Patrons.
Patrons. So patrons, when they are over the limit to drive, and they must help them get home. We're going to go into this in a moment. And he has suggested that the best place to pilot the project is Walking Street. Now, this guy that is, putting this plan forward, his name is Damrong Kiat Pinatakan. You'll see a picture of him here. He is the secretary of the entertainment and tourism industry in Pattaya. And guess what? He's an executive at the Hollywood pub. So he would be
so
for it.
No conflict of interest.
Absolutely none
right.
whatsoever. He told Sopon Cable TV on Facebook that Tourism Minister plans to extend opening hours to 4 a.m. to boost tourist spending. It's a good idea, and people in the industry in Pattaya agree with me. But he did understand that people had reservations from a safety and moral standpoint. Along with extra profits, there would also probably be more drinking and driving, and pubs and clubs must play their part in helping to limit the impact. He suggested, well, he's got 3 plans. We can go through them now, and you tell me if they're good or not. His first point was pubs and clubs must not allow any under 20s to drink in their establishments. Well, that's the law anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I was in America. I think it was New York, and I went to one of these the beggars. What are they called? These little like 7-Elevens.
All right.
I forgot what they're called now. Anyway, and I bought a couple of beers. I was then 40, 45. Had to show my ID. Which was my driving license. And I was don't go into the one the other day. That's for another story. But anyway, I said to her, why, I'm over 20 or 21 or whatever it was in that state. She said, I know, but it's law for me to see it.
But also because it's probably got cameras there, because...
yeah, but what? No, yes, but are you old enough to buy alcohol? You have to prove that you're over 21, and you obviously are. They still have to ask.
Wow.
Yeah. I've heard that from other Americans, and that's
I
quite
know why
widespread.
that is,
Oh, here we
especially
go.
for the women, because they always say they're 21 till they're about 65.
And we got a story about the MRT, but I think we're going to put that in when we do the MRT Blue Line special,
Yeah, that's
which is
coming
coming
up
up.
soon,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's in the editing room as we speak. All right, so that's the 20. That should always be there anyway.
Yeah, stating the obvious.
The second one is the club. This is where it
Oh,
gets.
wait a minute.
Oh, here we go.
Right, so you take, okay, serving.
I haven't got to point two yet.
Serving alcohol. But if you have
Soft
your
drink.
kids and they're maybe 17, 18, are you allowed to take them in, but they're not allowed to drink alcohol?
True, like in England, remember? I think you could be 14 or over or 12 or over as long as accompanied by an adult, and they could have a soft drink.
Yeah, and also I think that here, if they're eating in a pub, you can take the kid.
Yeah.
take
Well, this
the
is where the story gets interesting, because we'll have to divide what's the difference between a pub and a club. But actually, when you get down to the nitty-gritty with the law, there isn't much difference. But there's a hell of a difference.
Yeah, especially
A hell of a
licensing.
difference. Yeah, which we'll get to in a moment. All right, his second point was that the club should have alcohol testing stations to determine when patrons are over the limit. If they are, the club should then get them a taxi or find them some public transport or have a service in place at the club to take them home.
Forget. All right. Okay. So first thing is the.
Blowing it here, sir. Yeah. Right. Well, you're not allowed to take that BMW there now. You can't drive it.
I think that, I mean, as a rule, no. But I think there should be something there. But the thing is, the people are going to go and do that.
You've got 500 people coming.
Are actually intending to be below the limit. Right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
So if you're absolutely paralytic, you're not going to say, well, I better give a wee test of this.
No, you already know. And you've got 500 people coming out at one time. Imagine the queue.
Yes.
Blow into this. Oh, we'll find a bus. No, well, how do you want it? Where do you live? Pardon? Right, do you want to take a taxi, a bus?
Well, this is something I used to do, because obviously when you're working for some of the multinationals, you get people coming in, and we would have people coming in from Hong Kong, London, etc. What I would do is I would always make sure they had a card in Thai saying where they stayed.
Yeah,
so
true,
which hotel they were at.
Yeah, yeah.
Because otherwise they could be taken to Pattaya.
Yeah, I think that's fairly, I mean, whenever I'm in a new city at a hotel, always take a card, put it in my wallet.
But even
it's
as
me,
you
you know what,
live
mate?
here and speak sometime,
Yeah,
you should
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
be carrying something like that in Thai.
I'll have a collar like a dog does.
right.
My name's Andy and I live... If I'm a bit incoherent, please look after me and take me home, right?
That's been a couple of times, yeah. But
Last Sunday, O'Shea's.
With Grab
Oi.
Taxi, at least you can put your home in there, yeah, if you're using a Grab. But if you don't have that...
I know, no,
it's
true.
like being
no.
a bit like my dad getting evacuated during the war. He had one of these cardboard things.
He had a cardboard suitcase as well. They all had them.
This is your name. If they spelt it wrong, you ended up in England or something like that.
Well, point 3, an area should be set up where tourists... It's funny how they say tourists here, but I guess they're thinking about Walking Street.
I think they're referring
To
to
Pattaya, because he mentions
non-Thai,
Walking
yeah.
Street should be the sort of the start of how, to see if it works or not. So here again, tourists, there should be a place where tourists can get a fair price for public transport to take them home. Well, we get all those song towels anyway as well outside Walking Street.
It's a simple, have a taxi rank.
Yeah, but in Walking Street, there's no cars allowed down there, are there? He's talking now about Walking Street.
Well, you get two parts to Walking Street. You get the
Well,
front
yeah,
part.
two ends.
Yeah, but also you've got the beach road. Yeah. So on the beach road there, you have a taxi
Well, if you
rank.
come out of Walking Street, no matter what time, and I have done it at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning in my younger days, there's loads of taxis, there's loads of taxi bikes, and there's song towel things, right?
Yeah.
Millions of, too many, all waiting to take people home. So I think these laws are okay, but are they going to be adapted for, say, a club in the middle of Bangkok, where Thais go? This is, because it's going to be the same for them, right?
Of course.
But they have massive car parks and cars and...
I think this is applied to anyone for entertainment.
Well, he's Hollywood pub and he's Pattaya.
Right.
So this is what we're going to do. I mean, this guy says he believes that Walking Street is the best place to set up a pilot scheme for extending the opening hours to 4 a.m. The area is easy to control safety-wise and is a landmark in Pattaya. Agreed.
I think he's taken initiative.
But I mean, if it works there, and they say it's great, yeah, but I can't see that working. I can't remember the club. RCA here in Bangkok.
Yeah.
There's some really late night opening against the law type clubs there.
Yeah.
But I can't see. Well, first of all, there was hardly any tourists there. They're all Thais. So they've all probably got their own transport.
Well, not really, but okay, yeah.
Well,
It's certainly a young person's place,
yes, 95% Thais go there, right? So normally they have their own transport, so they know how to get home because they're Thais.
Yeah.
The last thing they want to do is breathe in one of them. Even if they've got a car, they won't, will they? Thais won't do that. They say, I can drive, I can drive.
Well, I mean, right. My thought is that there's a police presence. Yeah. There has to be like you had bouncers and things like that. I'm sure good bouncers here, but there's a police presence to make sure. Even or they have delegated car parking. Yeah. So you get car parking, you park your car there.
Well, that's Walking Street out.
Right. Well, I mean, they're going to work something out.
Yeah, and a lot of these clubs do have parking facilities. Some of them have car jockeys.
They can check. But there's also this Penong thing where if you're from a wealthy family or whatever it is, they get scared or authority or whatever, that kind of thing. So it has to be properly managed.
Right.
Also, I don't even know what the level, how many, is it milligrams?
Well, I don't know either.
Yeah, so I think is it 50 or something? So it's very small. So
it's about a pint and a half or something like that.
Right, so you're out till 4 o'clock in the morning. So moral of the story is
taxi, grab taxis and everything. So I think the more of the story is going to come later about the negatives of 4 a.m., which is mainly violence. So now let's move from Pattaya to Phuket. Night spot owners in Phuket's Patong area, which you know obviously. I mean, I didn't mean that derogatively, but we've all heard of it.
Well, that's all been there, yeah.
You have been there, have you?
Oh yeah, because it's a tourist attraction. You're going to go and see it.
Well, they welcome the idea to stay open until 4 a.m., saying that it is likely to bring an income boost of perhaps 20% while curbing police bribery. Because obviously if they want to stay open till 4 now, they're not allowed to, but they pay somebody and they do.
Yeah.
Well, they do.
Yeah,
I know I can get someone in there to say that.
The bribery thing, I when you say I accept. But knowing different people who have pubs, nobody likes it because they don't want to pay it. But there's a reason for it as well. It's more like an insurance policy. If something goes wrong, there'll be priority of the police to come to your place and sort it out. Yeah.
True. But see, what we've got to come to at the moment, I'll do it at the end, but because for me, there's pubs and there's clubs.
Correct.
Okay, now a pub is open from any time, especially in Pattaya, from 7 in the morning, right? So they do breakfasts, they do have all the morning trade, they have the lunches, the afternoon, and then the evening. It'd be ridiculous for them to close at 4. I'm sure they'd be happy to close at midday. It's
Let
too
the market
long.
decide.
Yeah, but no. But here's the thing. So you sit in a pub till 4 in the morning. It's a different atmosphere than walking into a club. Why did people go into the club? To drink? No, I wouldn't say that's high up on there. They want to, no. They can drink in a pub round the corner for a third of the price. They go to a club to meet other people, to listen to the music and dance and have a nice drink along with it.
Yeah.
You go to a pub, a lot of people go to a pub to see how many Heinekens they can get down there. And they sit with the lads and they sit around the table and whatever. It's different from a club.
Yes, okay.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. So I'm all in favour of pubs. I don't know what the times of pubs are. When I mean pubs, beer bars and these things you get, right? I think they can close at, 2? Is it 11?
2 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, so I think a club, and that's the other thing with the club, people come late to a club. No one comes before 11:30, probably midnight. So you have 4 hours, fine.
Yeah.
Whereas, a pub till 4, why?
I don't think
then you get people stumbling
this is
around.
Where I think even when it comes to smoking rules and all stuff, it comes down to what the market wants. And the pubs should be able to decide themselves. But where it's a residential area and where there's loud music or something like that, I think that should be certainly managed.
Absolutely.
Right? And if there is a lot of hassle in their pub, because some pubs get a reputation to attract certain people, if there's problems, the police have the right to take away their license or shut them down.
I mean, in you watch these.
You have that in the UK.
Oh, watch these cop programs from the UK, and Friday night in Guildford or somewhere like that, all the clubs are chucking out at 2 o'clock. There's all fights outside, and people just making a nuisance of themselves. The police, move on. Oh, well, what's your name?
It's not just the guys; it's the girls as well.
Well, they're worse in some cases. But what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of that, whereas I don't think there's much of that in Thailand. I haven't seen it on that scale.
Yeah, what happens, it really does happen. Yeah.
Well, then it kicks off. But you understand what I mean?
Yes.
I think generally, kicking out time, everyone just saunters out and goes their own way, and it's over and done with. Yeah. That's my observation.
Yeah.
Right. Patong Development Foundation President, here's another name, Prichawut Kasin, estimated Phuket tourism income would increase by 20%, while Patong, especially the 1 square kilometre known as the Soi Bang La area, would turn into gold. So money driven. Don't let a certain group use legal loopholes to stop this from happening, he said, as they reap maybe 30 million baht a month in bribes to keep these places open. And they're the ones lobbying not for 4 because they want to keep their bribe money. So they still close at 4, but the money goes to, and they're not policed or anything. So you pay the police, you stay open. And they reckon that's over 30 million baht a month goes in bribery.
Possibly it is. Yeah.
Right. Let's have a look at the negatives.
But you know, don't forget the reason is it's not, even though it's illegal. I understand there's a service provision, as I was saying. Yeah. So yeah, if it's against the law, it's simply against the law.
Yeah. But if you were to do it legally, it could be more easily supervised.
Well, let's just look at this stuff. This is my thoughts. In the pubs, when you go to a pub or a club, right, and you're not drinking. Right. So you're drinking, maybe not drinking alcohol. You're maybe drinking, a light beer, or maybe you're drinking a Coke or something. What I find in all the pubs, and I've said to some of the guys I know who run pubs, there are no really nice soft drinks that are not highly sugary.
So all the Cokes and 7-Up, Sprites and that.
Yeah, so it's all that really sweet stuff. We can drink water, but you can embarrass drinking water. You're some poor individual, unless you've got a Perrier, a bubbly Perrier. But
Club soda.
Have something. Now, you're not allowed to advertise alcohol and glorify the drinking of it. So why don't they switch that to glorifying softer drinks? Encourage people to show it's fashionable to drink non-alcoholic
that's very
drinks.
true. That's very true.
So that's one thing. Another thing is key drop. Now, if we were out and you were just off his face for some reason, right, which is nearly
Last Sunday, I was just, carry on.
And I said, listen, you don't drive. And I said, give me your keys. You'd go, get lost.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do a key drop.
Yeah.
I drop your keys in there. You're not getting your keys back.
Someone's going to nick
till
your
the next
car,
day.
don't they?
Well, yeah, they could possibly, but
no, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
And then it's sort of third party. It's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they say, listen, are you driving? You've got car keys. Yeah. Okay. Give us your keys. Go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
they do this service now. I'll drive you home, or whatever it's called.
Right. So market
which
this
is
sort
you
of
leave
stuff.
your car. They drive your car home for you.
And I think that's
a brilliant idea.
So that's another thing. Promote it.
Yeah.
So another element is, as I said about you got your taxi ranks. Now, what do we have if you look at Nana, Cowboy, all these districts? Yeah, Soi 11, Soi 8. There's all these places. When you want to get a taxi, everybody's going for that same taxi because everything shuts at the same time.
And he hasn't got his meter on.
So you could actually extend the hours. And the pubs will decide, listen, what's this point of staying open, paying over the overtime, all the overtime?
Yeah.
We're going to shut this
Well, you
down.
imagine a pub that opens at 7 in the morning. They're going to have 3 shifts to cover all that.
Precisely. That's another reason.
So some of the negatives here, most pubs and bars in tourist destinations are open air, that's patio, so it's hard to control the noise, which affects hotels and other tourists. You already mentioned that, right? There could be more crime, narcotics and prostitution issues. The conflicts of interest involving some law enforcers happen with bars opening until 2 a.m. So if opening hours are extended to 4, it would worsen. It goes on and on and on. But what I did get from extensive research.
Yes, I can see.
I did. From around the world where they have late ones, it says here, just an example, right, Norway, right? Each additional 1-hour extension to the opening times of premises selling alcohol is associated with a 16% increase in violent crime for every hour.
Okay.
That's Norway. They're pretty placid people.
All right. So we've got different licenses. Entertainment district, clubs, have a different license from pubs.
Correct. They will have a dance license, music
license. And then
license.
you have a restaurant license attached to that, but they talk about 16% interest. If they're finding there's violence happening outside that pub and the bouncers are not doing their job and controlling it, but they're responsible from inside, don't forget. As soon as they step over that threshold on the street, and they have
Public
to restrain
domain,
something. They can say it's assault.
Oh, right.
But basically, if that's what they have to learn to bar people and manage who they've barred, because otherwise they're going to lose their license.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
what I
So
think.
that's the leverage.
And the final thing is that the transport thing is the taxis, as I was saying before. Why do we have to shut the trains down at 11 to 11:30? Now, it might be because of that very reason, the risk of violence and safety on the train. Yeah. But I think they should, a reasonable time. If I want to get the train back, it's 11:30. I will plan myself to be going home at that time.
Yeah. It's like London. Everyone makes that mad
Otherwise
dash.
you've got to get a
Makes the
taxi.
mad dash for the 11:30 train to the suburbs.
But also, what you see is that if you look at these entertainment districts, people are rushing across the street because there's no. Well, you don't want to walk over in case somebody jumps, but there's nowhere where you can get across. Well, no one cares anyway, but the zebra crossing.
Yeah, a zebra crossing.
So people are running across the road for those cars, so there's going to be more accidents.
Well, let us know what you think, whether it's a good idea. We're over time now, way over time. I thought if you think it's a good or bad idea, we've just sort of touched. But I did like this one. Police in Devon in the UK have unveiled a new weapon in their fight to reduce late-night rowdiness: free lollipops.
Free lollipops.
There's a picture. We got a picture of. They say that the later a club opens, the more violence. So they're going along with that. It occurs, and lollipops calm people down. They smile instead of being disruptive. So you imagine you've got this 28-stone guy tattooed to hell. Have a lollipop. He would shove that lollipop where the sun don't shine.
I think that's great because it's a bit like a joke. The reason that a joke's funny is because
they say
the
it
last
works.
part of it is not what you expect.
They say it
It's
works.
Great.
All right, so that's it for now. Coming up this week, we're going to be talking again about the TM30, but particularly what the BBC said about it, with some good examples. Plus, someone peeing in noodles. Yeah, wait for it. And some clip pics and what's on as well. So keep it here on your YouTube channel, which is called He always lets me do it. This bit
Bangkok
we do together.
ChitChat.
God, we've rehearsed it so many times. So your channel is Bangkok ChitChat. All right, see you next
Also
time.
called Chit Chat now.
Oh,
Okay.
of course it is. Just to complicate things, why not, right? See you later.